Hi there, good afternoon, and welcome to our session where you and I sit down together and talk about how to approach para summary in the CAT. In short, you are supposed to approach it with a lot of happiness and excitement. So, just the way I welcome you to BYJU'S exam prep channel, where we help you move closer to your goals of getting an amazing score and rank in your B school exams. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I would also like you to know that we conduct a ton of sessions. A lot of sessions. In fact, some people on certain days reach out to us and say, sir, this is overwhelming, itne sare session kaise karenge bhai ab dekh. That's what we do, right? So if you are not aware of all those sessions, how would you benefit from those? And how can you become aware of those? By turning the notifications on. There is a hack, right? You press the bell icon and in you go. And before I move on, my name is Vikrant. I am your personal coach for all things related to English communications and certain aspects of the psychological aspects of your preparation. Right? So here is something for you to think over, and with that, let's dive into our topic of the day, which is para summary. So let's start. What exactly is para summary? What is it that we are talking about? Any guesses? So para summary is a question type where we are given a paragraph followed by 4 alternate summaries. Our job is to go ahead and pick up the best summary as our answer to that particular question. And it's a fairly regular fixture of the CAT exam where you are expected to get 2 to 3 of these questions every year. And in fact, if you have gone through Pressy writing or summary writing back in school, back in college, you would probably be familiar with this. However, I think it is less of summary and more of main idea. So if you look at the answer choices, they usually focus on our ability to identify the main conclusion or the key idea of the paragraph, and if you can develop that ability, you would definitely be able to get these right. Moreover, it also indirectly helps us with reading comprehension, and that is why I personally feel that this is an important question type and should actually be front loaded in your preparation. It's one of those question types where I want you to start working soon so that you can actually reap these rewards even when it comes to reading comprehension. So that said, let us now go ahead and talk about why I am asking you to front load it. So the importance is it teaches us to identify key ideas, and this ability to identify key ideas is very useful when it comes to retaining the passage. It is very useful when it comes to answering some other questions in RC like the main idea question or the suitable title question. And not only this, it also makes us better at paragraph odd one out and para completion questions, because in both of those questions you are supposed to be aware of the theme that the passage has. And when you become good at summaries, you automatically go ahead and become good at identifying that theme. And thus, I'd urge you to sort of front load it. So now let's go ahead and talk about how we should approach this question. And in order to do that, let us focus on the way communication works. So when two people talk to each other, like right now I am talking to you, or even when you're reading a book, the author is in a way talking to you with the help of that book. So in every such exchange, there are two minds. There is a mind which has some ideas, and that mind wants to transfer those ideas over to your mind. So let me draw an analogy. You want to buy something and there is a seller who's selling it in the marketplace. So one fine day, it happened to me as well. I wanted to buy a book. So I went to Amazon and ordered a book. A few days later, a packet got delivered to my house. I opened the packet, took out the book, and after that I discarded the packaging. Now I have a question for you. Is that packing material important? Was that packing material useful? Mind you, I discarded it. Just the way we do in a summary, we discard around 2/3 of the words, going by the compression ratio that was taught to me and probably to you back in school. So was this packing useless? Now at one level, yes, because I discarded it. But at another level, we say that it played a very important role. In that transit from that warehouse to my house, in that transit, the book could have been damaged. And that packaging ensured that the book did not get damaged. So, yeah, once that book reached me, then yes, then it became useless. But in that transit, it was very important. Similarly, when you go from one mind to another, when those ideas go from one mind to another, there is a transit in between. From one mind to another, there is this journey in between, and the ideas can be damaged, distorted, lost in that journey. And therefore, a lot of times, even the authors use some packaging for their ideas. So at the end of the day, yes, what we want to communicate is an idea. But then, because it can get damaged, we pack it using what? Explanations, elaborations. We can also add facts, examples, statistics. We can go ahead and offer a reiteration or a restatement. So all of this is done in order to ensure that that idea reaches you safely. So what a summary basically asks us is that, hey, now that the idea has reached you, can you retain the idea and discard the packaging? So in a way, it forces you to think of the idea versus the packing material. And anybody who understands that, anybody who can deal with the ideas versus the packing material is, of course, going to do a fabulous job at identifying the right summary. So all that you need to do in terms of approach is read your entire paragraph carefully. Go through it sentence by sentence and then try to determine the role that every sentence plays in that process. Is it a new idea that has been introduced? Is this sentence explaining something that has already been mentioned or expanding upon it further, giving you some specific details? Does it give you some facts related to an idea? Examples, reiterations, restatements? That's it. So this is a skill. You can practice it. In the beginning, even if you go through just a few questions every day, you do a fabulous job. But then whenever you read, you can actually make it a point to read a paragraph every day where you think of all these things within that composition. And with enough practice, with enough time, you would notice that you have progressively gone on to become really better at it. Hi Meera, how are you? So let's go ahead, solve some questions and learn this process even further. So here are the directions. A paragraph followed by 4 alternate summaries. Choose the option that best captures the essence of that paragraph. So the way I present it is going to be very simple. On one of the slides, you'll find the paragraph. On the next slide, you'd have the options. So why don't you take out some 30 odd seconds reading this paragraph where you try to figure out the essence, and then in the next paragraph, we can go ahead and work with the answer choices. So let's start. So I hope you have gone through the paragraph. So what does it talk about? The weight of electric and hybrid vehicles. Right? That's the core topic that it explores. And here are the answer choices for you, 4 of them. And I'm giving you 1 full minute. You notice this bar running at the top? When it vanishes, by then hopefully you'd be able to share the answer. Maybe you can take 10-15 seconds more, use the seeker to go back to that paragraph, and then let's come back and talk. Your time starts now. Hi Shubhangi, what's up? Okay, Shivani, that's quick. That's excellent. So let us go ahead and start working with this. So what I prefer, the elimination approach. The moment I look at A, hang on, I just need to get my tablet to be aligned right. So when I look at option A, I very clearly see an addition. The paragraph does not really mention only, mention it as only solution. Okay, then let's look at B. B says, since manufacturers and designers are constrained by the bulkiness of engines, researchers are exploring hybrid material capable of storing electrical energy. Are they exploring hybrid materials capable of storing electric energies, or are they exploring hybrid materials to build vehicles? There appears to be a slight distortion here in this particular part. The rest of it is fine. This can turn out to be the best answer choice. Who knows? Let's look at C. By building vehicles with multifunctional material. Hey, that's actually even better. If I take you back to the paragraph, you notice vehicles using hybrid materials, and this captures this idea even better, right? So this basically leads us to that multifunctionality will be a better way of capturing it. So I'd prefer this over B. How about D? No, I think D, since you haven't even chosen it, you've managed to rule it out. We can rule that out. So I think A and D were relatively easy to figure out. B, between B and C, C is closer to the intent of the paragraph over B. So if I compare this part with this part, I would say that this is more representative of the paragraph, and therefore we choose C over B. And with that, let's dive into our next question now. Question number 2, the paragraph is on your screen, and in a little while from now we'll switch over to the options. Okay, and here are the answer choices with your time starting now. Okay, so you had a minute to think it over. Let's see what you've chosen. B versus C apparently is what we are contemplating. Okay, so let's check B. People become entrepreneurs for different reasons, such as financial success or leadership. The experience leads to a new way of life or enhanced learning. It only mentions the fact that experience leads to a new way of life or enhanced learning. But the first half is actually an addition. When you say people become entrepreneurs for different reasons, such as financial success or leadership. Now, this in fact contradicts the third sentence of the paragraph. So B does not appear all that great. How about C? Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. Hey, that's not even given in the passage. So that's alien. So that's an addition. So I definitely rule it out. So both of them appear dicey. C definitely so. Let's look at A. Entrepreneurship can be both a destination and a journey. Yup. Different connotations for different people. Yes. Can be an extremely rewarding experience. Yes. D. Many benefits come from being an entrepreneur. Goal. This is not mentioned. Nope. This is in any way incomplete. So if we have to compare A versus B, B is introducing something which is not given in the passage. Passage says it is not only these two, where we have made them the focus. I'd say that A is better. Ideally, I would have preferred A to have one extra thing. This part should have probably been laid out a little more clearly, but it's still okay. It's still going to be the best answer choice for us in question number 2. And here is your next question. Okay, so with the paragraph done, here is the time for your options. I think I'll give you a little extra time once the timer runs out because it's a little longer, but let's try it. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look at third. Let's see what you guys think the answer should be. First, of course. So if I were to look at the key ideas mentioned in this particular paragraph, they are that there is a dominant hypothesis that believes the language originated as a tool used to share facts. Then there is an alternative view presented about the use of language in modern humans believed to facilitate social bonding, planning, cooperation in order to increase the chances of survival of our ancestors. Now, if I look at, say, option D, invented language to process factual information was the outcome of the need to ensure social cohesion and thus human survival, things which are not even mentioned. Option A talks about experts and narrow view, which is not the case. So A and D get dismissed. That leaves you with B versus C. So which one should we choose? C has once again a new idea, continuously evolving to higher forms, and therefore gets ruled out, and thus the best answer choice, absolutely yes, Shubhangi and Shivani, should be option B. And here is our question number 4. The paragraph and pretty soon the options too. I'll give you a little extra time with this. I hope you realize where the difficulty is coming from. Okay, so let me now take you over to the options. So what's your take on question number 4? So you realize there are times when the problem comes from that old 4, subject matter. When you deal with things like philosophy or hardcore political theory, hardcore psychology, that is when things can become rather interesting. So the main idea, aesthetic political representation demands that the representative has autonomy, a bit of self-governance, but with respect to the people represented. That does not mean that he can, it's not an excuse to abandon one's responsibility. So you need disinterestedness. In order to possess disinterestedness, you need to have a behavior towards the beautiful that is devoid of ulterior motives, references. So if I start evaluating, option B is very clearly narrow. You read it one glance and you know that it talks about only one of these ideas, and therefore can be eliminated. How about option C? It brings an idea of non-subjective evaluation of things, which is nowhere mentioned in the paragraph. So bringing in something new can definitely help us eliminate it. D, aesthetic political representation advocates autonomy for the representatives. So far so good. Manifested through disinterestedness. It is not manifested through disinterestedness. You need to cultivate disinterestedness. So this part is not there in the paragraph, and there is where I say we can go ahead and pick up A. Shivani, I feel you. I know. Read a bit more of philosophy, practice more, spend some more time reading areas that challenge you thoroughly, and hopefully these things will progressively get easy. Okay, and here is the next one. Go ahead, give this a shot. So another challenging one for you. Options, ready for them? Here they are. And because I had to kind of struggle to fit all of these on the slide, I am just making myself a little shorter so that you can read all of these thoroughly. So we are all in now. And what does this particular paragraph talk about? So argument is an activity with a particular purpose. You put a series of ideas to a rational judge. It's a non-intellectual linguistic activity which makes the use of but and even, hampers the cognitive process of decoding and inference, those kind of things. So if you look at option A, when it talks about suggestions which negate the point made, and a little while later when it has this mental block, okay, then these are the two things which are not present in the paragraph, so they can be termed what? Additions. Additions are in 99.9% of the cases going to be wrong answers. When B, once again, it has some problems, and I think both of you, Shivani, Shubhangi, you've actually figured out the right one. It is indeed C. So that's the answer. That saves me the trouble of explaining it. And don't you think it is wonderful to get a lot of practice? I would think so, yes. So how can you get even more practice? One very obvious way is we have started our first All India Open Mock. So that's easily one of the best ways of getting not only some extra practice under your belt, but also comparing yourself vis-a-vis your competition. So make sure that you go ahead and appear for that All India Open Mock. And you can also explore these topics in greater detail if you want to by going through a free trial of our comprehensive program that takes care of all the bases. And in case you've started your preparation, you're not sure of how it is going, whether it is working for you or not, whether the strategy is right or not, whether the course is going to be suitable for you or not, whether you should continue doing what you've been doing, or is there a change of plan required, for all of these things, you can reach out to us for a one-on-one discussion by filling a CAT counseling form. You'd find the link you'd find the link here in the chat, and hopefully you'd also go ahead and get great results just like some of our previous year students. So that's it from me today. I look forward to meeting you in the next session pretty soon. Until then, stay safe, stay focused, stay in touch, and let's go ahead and create great results together. Have a great day ahead. See you soon.